Hi, it's Dave Engebretson again, coming to you live from the bunker in Bucktown. Today, we're going to demonstrate a couple of products and the quality that those products provide, particularly in adverse situations. The reason that I created this video is I got a call from a customer who said, well, I've got this problem, I've got this coax that's underground, and every time it rains, the camera fails at the far end. And I said, well, obviously when it rains the conduit gets water in it, and there must be either a splice in the coax, or there could be maybe the coax cable had been damaged somehow during the installation process, and water comes in, shorts it out. Yeah, what's the answer? Repull the cable. I thought about it for a minute. I said, well, I wonder what happens when you take a coax splice and you put it underwater. So that's what we're going to do today. And I want you to know that this is a dangerous thing. And I do not recommend that you do this at home. So, the safety glasses are on. And here we go. Here you see the screen on my laptop, and it's connected to an Axis 1346 camera, and I'm going to wave my hand in front of the camera just to show you that indeed that camera is live and working. So let's look at how it is connected. My laptop is connected to one of the ports of this 8-port TrendNet switch, which has 4 PoE ports. And for those of you who wonder about the quality of products, particularly an inexpensive product like this particular switch, which costs roughly $50 to $55 at your distributor, be aware that this switch has probably got 150,000 air miles on it in the last 2 years. I've taken it everywhere. I've used it everywhere. It works really well. I'm hooked up to one of the ports with my laptop, which is not a PoE port, but then I'm using one of the PoE ports, and that's powering the camera. The PoE output from the TrendNet switch is connected via the blue Cat5e cable into the eBridge receiver, which is the piece that is normally in the head end, and it is connected to a coaxial cable, as you see is connected on the left hand side. And boy, are those lights blinking. Here you see the 2 rolls of coaxial cable I'm using. There's a roughly 1,000-foot cable on the big box on the left, and on the right that's the white coax, and then the black coax is coming out of this box here, which is a 500-foot box, or was before I started taking pieces out of it to do things with them. And they are joined together using ideal INSITE coaxial connectors and an ideal adapter barrel. So this is how you do a splice when you have to splice a roll of 2 rolls of coax together. You put a connector on one end, and you put it here, and you put a connector on the other end, and you put it here, and you use the ideal connectors, and you'll see why in just a couple of minutes here. Now here you see the end of the black coax cable here. It is connected into this Altronix eBridge 100 ST. This is the transceiver. This is the device that goes at the far end. And that is connected with the coax cable. And from here, we're coming out with the Cat5e jumper, and we're going into the back of our Axis camera. And you see the lights are blinking, and we've got communication. Here you see where I've connected the ideal VDV2 Pro tester, which tests coax, UTP, Cat5e, Cat6, also virtually any type of conductors, because it comes with a set of alligator clips and you can hook up just about anything. But here we are testing the aggregate length of the 2 rolls of fiber. So the 2 rolls of fiber are connected with the splice that I put in here, 2 connectors and a barrel. And now let's take a close in on that meter and see what we got. Well, now it is telling us that this cable, as it stands right now, is 1,313 feet long. So we have 1,300 feet of cable. This is the cable that we're running, that the video is coming through. So it shows you that using the Altronix eBridge products, you can cover large, over 1,000 feet easily of coax cable and deliver a video signal and PoE, because the camera is powered with PoE, and PoE over easily more than 1,000 feet. Here you see where I've connected the VDV Pro 2 tester to the far end Altronix device. That is, I reconnected it to the coax, and now you see at the bottom it says that we have 10 megabit, 100 megabit Ethernet, 1000 megabit Ethernet connectivity. It also shows the PoE voltage at 45 volts. So this tester, now I'm using this tester as a single-ended tester on the category cable at this point. I don't even have the other end hooked up. I'm just working the tester to see what I got at the far end. And what I have at the far end is cable that works, I have Ethernet connectivity, and I have PoE power. So this is an excellent tester for that sort of thing, because now you know you got everything you need to hook up that camera. Here you see that I have, trust me, I've reconnected the 1,300 feet of cable to the Altronix boxes, and I'm pinging the camera now, whose IP address is 192.168.1.92. Notice that virtually all of the ping times are less than 1 millisecond round trip time. Let's close in on that a little bit so you can see, oh, too far. So you can see what's going on there, and you see that their ping responses are a millisecond or less, and this is going through 1,300 feet of coaxial cable. We could also have additional lengths of category 5E or 6 cable on the ends of these if we chose to. I don't. I have just short jumper cables. But it shows you that you get excellent response times. You get very low latency with the Altronix eBridge products when you're pushing video through them. Here you see on my laptop, I've reconnected the camera. I've reopened Axis Camera Companion, which is an excellent program. Supports up to 16 cameras and provides you viewing of the recorded video on the SD cards that are in the cameras. And the software is free from Axis, so it's a great deal. But let me just show you that indeed the camera is functional, and it's going through the Altronix boxes, the Altronix adapters, and through the 1,300 feet of coax cable. Now comes the fun part. Okay, let me just re-emphasize that we have our camera connected and our camera is functional. So the camera sees my hand, right? Now, let's look at what we did. And let me emphasize here that I was told don't do this. And I made this up on my own, and I'm not recommending this to anyone. However, if we pan to the right here, we see we've got our TrendNet switch, we've got our Altronix boxes blinking away, and over here on this side we've got our Altronix box, and it's hooked up to our camera, and the camera's banging away, and that's great. But what's going on right here? Right here, we have submerged the completed splice in a inch or two, I'd say an inch and a half, of high quality Chicago water. And in one continuous shot, you'll see that even though the splice is underwater, the camera still functions. Here I've reconnected the VDV2 Pro tester to the remote piece from Altronix, and notice now I'm getting the exact same results as I got before when the splice wasn't underwater. I've got my 10, my 100, and my gigabit Ethernet. I've got my 45 volts of PoE, and so I'm completely functional in terms of Ethernet standards, PoE standards, with the splice being underwater. Now, just to see if this is a fluke or whatever, I am timing the amount of time the splice is underwater with the chicken. The chicken is ticking. And when the chicken dings, which will be in 10 minutes, we ain't going to wait 10 minutes on the video, but in 10 minutes it will ding, I'm going to retest to make sure that I still have functionality. Now remember what we're doing. We are passing Ethernet connectivity and PoE voltage through a splice, coax splice, that is underwater. The chicken is calling. It is time to retest our connectivity. So our splice has been soaking in that lovely Chicago water for 10 minutes now, or a little more. And let's see what we've got in terms of connectivity to our camera. So here's our picture from our camera, and there's my hand, and you see that the camera is still functional. I still have a video feed even after an extended, well, a short bath in some 30 degree, or no, it would be at least 33 degree Chicago water, since it's quite cold outside. So what have we seen today in this demonstration? We've seen a few things. Number one, we've seen the functionality of the Altronix eBridge products, that the eBridge devices can easily traverse over 1,000 feet of coax cable with PoE, with a variety of 10, 100, and gigabit Ethernet potential, all over 1,300 feet of coax cable. It's a proven thing. Coax works for IP communications. Number two, what did we see? We saw the importance of using quality coax connectors. Now, let me emphasize that I talked to some people at Ideal about this before I made this video. They're like, we don't want anything to do with it. We do not recommend putting our splices and our connectors underwater. They are not waterproof. They are water resistant, or pardon me, weather resistant. So Ideal makes no claim that their product will work the way I just tested it. So I guess I did the wrong thing. But you saw a splice, coax splice, properly done using Ideal INSITE connectors, 360 degree compression fit connectors, and the Ideal adapter barrel in the center. And you saw that it works. It works underwater. Now, I would never, and anybody, I've been in this business 40 years, anybody with any brains knows that if you're pulling underground cable, there should be no underground splices. Why? Because you can't service them. Where are they? How are you going to get them out? You know, if they need to be fixed, how are you going to do it? I'll tell you how you're going to do it. You're going to have to pull a new cable to do it. And certainly a distance of 500 feet or less, or even 1,000 feet, you can get rolls of coax that are 1,000 feet long, and if the distance is that long, you should use a single complete roll of coax, or a complete span of coax with no underground splicing that just could potentially create problems in the future. But what this also tells you is that if you are using, I recommend the Ideal INSITE connectors, coax connectors, indoor, outdoor, everywhere, every time. They never fall off. They are super strong on the cable, and as you see, they perform superbly. And they do it time and again. They are well worth the little bit of extra money that they cost compared to cheap crimp-on connectors. So I hope you enjoyed this video. At the end of the video, I'll put up some information about the products that were used and where you can get more information from Altronix and get more information from Ideal about their equipment. Any comments about this video? Hey, SladenSolutionsLTD.com. Go to my website, shoot me a message. I hope you enjoyed it and have a good day.